What is up, guys? This is B-Rad here.
And this is Postman.
Hope everybody's having a good night. We are we're gonna be talking about a couple different things. First off, how was your day today?
My day was pretty good. It's funny. I feel like every time we do this, I always go grocery shopping, and that's what I did today. Is I went grocery shopping.
Okay, all right. What'd you get?
Groceries. Why you always ask me that?
Just to talk about what you get.
Okay. The only abnormal thing that I got this time was I got two space heaters, the oil radiator ones,
Yeah,
and because I don't like any of the other heaters. Call me like superstitious or whatever. I just don't trust them.
yeah. Well, I mean, they do have more of a chance at catching on fire.
Yeah, I've had quite a few of them like melt on me and stuff, and so I'm just not about it. I found with the oil radiator heaters, like they're tried and true, good to go.
Yeah, we actually I had to throw one away 2-3 weeks ago because you know where you plug into the outlet.
Yeah,
Right there where you plug into the outlet, the plastic was like all melted.
yeah. That's
And
how one of our old ones was.
yeah, and I didn't want to take the chance of plugging it back in and then us sleeping or whatever,
Yeah,
and then it catching on fire. So I was like, nah, I'm just gonna trash it.
it's scary, man. It's a real thing that happens.
Well, it actually happens a lot.
Yeah.
I think there was a house fire around us just a couple of days ago. If I
Well,
remember
it's funny
correctly.
we're talking about fires. Don't you have something you want
Oh,
to talk about?
all right. So
Segway.
yeah, so for current news, obviously I'm sure everybody knows. If not, you must not watch the news or any type of social media. But a lot of California is on fire right now. And have you seen any videos of it?
Unfortunately, I have not. I have only seen headlines.
Well, we're gonna watch a video here in a little bit,
Oh
but
boy.
it looks like a war zone, basically.
Yeah.
Like everything in this area, I forget what it's called. It starts with a P. I'll have to look it up here in a second. But everything in this area it's gone. Like everything's burnt to a crisp, and it's unfortunate because I think around 2,000 homes or something like that has already been burnt, which is crazy. Um, give me a second. Exit this. My bad, guys. But it is pretty crazy because about when was that podcast? So it was about 2 months ago, maybe 3 months ago. Trump had a podcast or was on Joe Rogan's podcast,
Okay.
and they
Yeah.
were literally talking about this,
Yeah.
about the whole area, how like everything's bone dry, nobody's keeping up with anything. They don't have the water infrastructure to even fight the fires, and it's all true. And that's why the fire just keeps on spreading and just keeps burning everything.
Wow, that's kind of crazy. I didn't know that.
Yeah, and also the mayor of the area, her name is Karen Bass. She cut 17 million out of the firefighters' budget to use for other things like immigration and all that other stuff. And basically, so the firefighters there, the way that they fight the fires, because it's like such a big area and everything, they use planes. And what they do is they have the planes, they, land on the lake or other bodies of water, and then they have these huge tubs and whatnot, and they fill up the tubs, and then they fly over and drop the water. Well, because they got their budget cut, and I think like 7 million of it was overtime money and everything, from what I read. They don't have the option of having as many planes now, so the unfortunately, they can't really put up against a fight against that much of burning infrastructure and whatnot. So basically, they're just evacuating the people and letting it burn. I mean, I'm sure they're doing everything they can, but it's really nothing you can do once it gets too bad. But yeah, I want to show you this video.
All right, bring it on.
All right, let me remember how to do this.
Yeah, man. You know, as a bit of a pyromaniac myself, I love playing with fire, but it's such a scary thing to mess around with because it can get out of hand so quickly. You remember when I lit that bank on fire down on the river?
All right. Wait a minute. Let me exit this real quick so we can talk about that. Yes, I do remember you lit that you lit that bank on fire. Basically, it was me, a buddy, you, and then my cousin, and we were all camping. And me and my buddy went out onto the river to catfish. And what happened, Sean? You
All right. So as I remember it,
I remember it.
I was trying to get the fire going more than it was, and so we had a cup of gasoline.
You had a cup of gasoline.
Okay.
We didn't even know he brought a cup of gasoline.
Okay, well, I don't remember that, but I had a cup of gasoline, and I went to go pour it over the fire, and when I did, it shot up and into the cup, and I freaked out and threw it into the bank, and it lit the whole bank on fire.
Yeah, and me and my buddy, we were out on the river on this boat that we found in the river, and we had a stick that we was using to paddle to get to places. This boat had a bunch of holes in it, and we was using sticks to plug the holes, and then we had like a cup or something to, because obviously it was a slow leak, so we had to get the water out by throwing it out of the boat and whatnot. And then we look over, Sean's yelling, the bank's on fire. So I'm hurrying up, trying to paddle over there to the bank. And it was pretty hectic. We got over there. From what I remember, I can't remember if we threw water on it or if we
if I remember correctly, by the time you got to the shore, because it took you forever, it had already gone out. Or most of it.
That might have been it. My memory's a little dusty on that, but I do remember it happening.
All right, you got that video ready?
Oh yeah. So we're gonna watch two videos. Wait a minute. Here we go. Let me redo it. The first one is a video with the fire happening, which is this one right here.
All of PCH is on fire right now. There is fierce wind, down power lines, power poles toppled over. Things are exploding. Gas lines are on fire.
See, at this point,
flames are coming back over PCH or being blown by fierce winds. It is like driving through hell itself down here. Literally through hell. This is madness down here. These homes are on fire, and you can feel the heat from the flames, even from inside your car.
I got a question.
Insane.
What's up?
Go ahead and play the next video.
All right, so this is afterwards. This is just the Palisades area.
Okay, I guess let's park along this street, yeah? And
this whole area is gone.
Oh my.
Ahead of us and try to set up a signal.
Right here. This is where it's got to be. This is, oh my God. What? I've never. Look at this. Beyond comprehension.
Like an apocalypse.
All
right.
Okay.
Let me go back over here. All right. But yeah, that's kind of crazy. And you want to know the other thing that's kind of shitty?
What?
About a month and a half ago, all the insurance agencies in these areas dropped thousands of policies all of a sudden because they knew, like, at any moment this place was going to go up in flames. And so they just dropped it all. And I think there should be a law that says that if you're paying an insurance policy, either the insurer should have to be able to give you a year before they can just drop it. They shouldn't just be able to just drop it out of nowhere.
Yeah, I mean, isn't there like a contract?
There is, but they basically do whatever they want.
Mm.
And if they do drop you, they should have to refund the money you paid in. That's what I think. I don't think that's right. So, insurance companies are getting a lot of hate right now. And, with my opinion on insurance companies, I think it's a scam. I don't know how you feel about it.
I think the idea is phenomenal. I think on paper it works, but in practice, not so much. I think there's a lot of corruption, and there's a lot of man, I'm trying to think the only thing to compare it to is like a lawyer, and how many loopholes and how many different rules and policies that they have and stuff that they can pull just left and right on you. And it makes me think of a lawyer, and that they understand all these intricacies and ways out and stuff like that.
Yeah, that is true.
So,
but unfortunately, so far there have been 6 people that they know of that has died in these fires. I think by the end of it, it's going to be way higher. I watched a video where I don't know if it was this area or another area, because I think altogether there's 5 different huge town or city areas that are under the fire or whatever. And one of the videos I watched, it was this road where people were panicking, and it was just car to car, there was no way anybody was getting through this road. They just jacked it all up, and it's just I don't know. It's kind of crazy. The West Coast is on fire. The East Coast got destroyed by water because how the floods and everything happened. I don't know how you feel about the whole Armageddon thing, but it does kind of seem like it's might be in the process of happening. I'm not sure.
I think that's a bit out there, but you can believe in whatever you want. Be read.
But yeah, hopefully, people on the West Coast that are dealing with all this, be safe. Don't die over personal property. It's not worth it. It's just material stuff. You can get it back later. But yeah, be safe. Trying to think of something else positive to.
Is there nothing that you would risk your life for?
Other than my family, no. Even my animals, I don't know if I'd risk my life for my animals.
I would. I'd risk my life for my animals.
I know my family, I would. I'd go into a burning house for my family. If my dog was stuck in a house, I would do the best to get it out, but I wouldn't risk my life for it.
Oh, I'd take a bullet for my baby in a heartbeat.
Yeah, that's basically it. All material stuff, I wouldn't risk my life for.
Yeah, I don't know if I have, and you know me, I'm a collector. I don't think there's any one thing in my collection that I would actually actively risk my life over. Well, that's kind of a hard one. I do have some pretty nice Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
I wish I was a collector. For some reason, I don't know. I just don't have whatever that is. The only collecting stuff I have is the stuff you've gave me so far.
Yeah.
That's it.
You should expect that every year from now on.
So, I don't know. I would like to do that, but I just it's something in my brain that if I'm looking something up, other than tools, I'll buy tools. But collecting stuff that goes on shelves or stuff like that, I can't force myself to buy it for some reason.
But now let me ask you this: do you buy stuff in video games, microtransactions?
No,
you don't buy any skins.
Nope.
Nothing.
So the only thing I've ever bought, let's see, Actually, I take that back. I have bought. It was a skin pack for Ark. It was to make your dinosaurs like metal or something like that. Other than that, I've never bought skins for Fortnite or Call of Duty, Battlefield. I just think it's a waste of money and it's pointless. Like literally, my Battlefield guy, I've never changed him. He's the same basic guy you start out with. So, yeah, I don't do all that battle pass crap either. I don't worry about that. I don't play it enough to worry about it. So,
Yeah, I think that's you talk about scams. That's a whew.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, like all games are doing it now.
Yeah. Oh, it seems like it. Yeah.
Like even Diablo 4, they're doing it.
Yeah.
There was another game that just came out that's doing it, but I'm going blank on it.
Yeah, Diablo. Talking about that, like it's gotten really bad with the skins and stuff, especially in 4. Like 3.
Well, 3, like you had the option to find them and like work towards like finding them or whatever. Like it made you like earn it basically.
Yeah.
4, it's just like, oh well, you know what? Just buy this $20 pass and we'll just give it to you.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing too, is that you got to buy it and then you still got to earn the stuff.
Yeah.
Anyways.
But oh yeah, here's another thing I was gonna talk to you about. So basically, obviously you know who Mark Zuckerberg is, right?
Yes.
All right. Well, he's came out and said that he wants to try to make.
He came out of the closet?
No. He's still in there. Damn it, you made me blank. Give me a second. Oh, so he came out and basically said that he wants to make Facebook like more freedom of speech type, kind of like X or Twitter or whatever.
Okay.
And because I don't know, you know, you're not on Facebook or whatever, but Facebook is heavily censored.
Yeah.
Like
it's the family friendly one.
I don't know about all that, but it's really like censored pretty hard. That's mainly why I don't post the podcast or anything on Facebook, because the last couple of times I always get like this little red question whatever mark thing beside it, and then like I got to go through read what terms I violated, this and that, and I stopped worrying about it. So basically, he's I'll bring up the video. I'll let him tell you. I hope I saved it. Let me exit out of the. Right here it is.
Hey everyone. I want to talk about something important today because it's time to get back to our roots around free expression on Facebook and Instagram. I started building social media to give people a voice. I gave a speech at Georgetown 5 years ago about the importance of protecting free expression, and I still believe this today. But a lot has happened over the last several years. There's been widespread debate about potential harms from online content. Governments and legacy media have pushed to censor more and more. A lot of this is clearly political, but there's also a lot of legitimately bad stuff out there. Drugs, terrorism, child exploitation. These are things that we take very seriously, and I want to make sure that we handle responsibly. So we built a lot of complex systems to moderate content.
All right.
But the problem with complex systems is they make mistakes.
All right. So yeah. So he basically wants to make Facebook more, you know, freedom of speech type stuff. And honestly, I think Elon Musk is the one that kind of, you know, gave him the courage to do it, because there for a while, like you could clearly see the government and everything just plowing through Zuckerberg, Facebook, you know, doing whatever they want, censored whoever they want. The only one that actually stood up was Musk, and then I'm assuming Zuckerberg seen it and was like, you know what, like I won't be like him. And then, you know, he's come out and he's going to try to make Facebook more freedom of speech and whatnot, and I'm all for it. I think you know, freedom of speech is, you know, obviously one of the most important freedoms we have, because most countries don't have this. Like in Britain, there's people getting sentenced to jail right now because they're speaking out against their government and all the immigration and all this other stuff. So, to have an opinion on something and then all of a sudden the law showing up and then you getting thrown in jail for 6 months to a year, all because you said your opinion out loud. I don't know. I just don't like that. What do you think about it?
So it's not just freedom of speech; it's freedom of expression. And I don't think that things should necessarily be censored. However, I do think that like content warning labels should be a thing, which I mean they are. You click on like a YouTube video that has mature content in it, and it says, this video will have mature content. Are you sure you wish to proceed? And then also, I forgot where I was going with this.
So basically, the freedom of speech thing and how, in other countries, they don't really have it.
But I don't think that like all forms of speech or expression, say on Facebook, should necessarily be pushed or like presented all the time. Because like, there's a lot of hate speech out there.
Oh, yeah.
And that shouldn't be pushed with the how the algorithm is, how they push videos that they think that you're gonna like and such. And so like I don't think that stuff like that should be pushed unless you're into that kind of stuff, But as far as like, I don't know, I don't really see super huge deal because like you have parental controls and settings and stuff on all these websites that you can enable. So I don't know.
Well, I'm just happy we have freedom of speech because, like I said, I like to have an opinion on things, and sometimes it goes against the popular opinion, and that's okay,
Yeah, you a little backwoods. It's all good.
Did you hear about Biden banning all offshore oil drilling?
Huh.
So basically, he put a ban up saying that on the west and east coast that nobody's allowed to drill for oil. And what's your thought on that? Like, what's your opinion? Do you want me to give mine first?
What are we ultimately getting at here? Like, oil reserves are going to run out eventually. I don't know that it'll happen in my lifetime. But what's crazy to think about is that one day gas might be $10 a gallon.
Hopefully we have a different energy resource before.
Well, that's a whole other rabbit hole to go down.
Yeah.
But in the time being, ethanol and gasoline and everything like and diesel, that's the main mode of transportation at the moment,
Well, here's the problem. So for oil, you got to think of everything that is made of oil. So anything plastic. So like, I don't know, like this thing right here, this cup, the outline of like anything plastic is made from oil. God, what else is made from oil? Basically, everything that we have is made from oil. So our reliance on oil is huge. And I mean, solar's all right, but it's not very reliable. Wind turbines is a joke. That's dumb. If you ever look into wind turbines, you'll think that's the stupidest thing anybody's ever come up with. For one, the maintenance on them is just crazy. The maintenance on them is the cost of 10 times more than any energy they'll put out. We at the moment don't have a energy resource that is reliable as oil. Give me a second. Oh, never mind. I thought I had this. Oh, I do have it on. All right. But yeah, we don't have an energy resource that we can replace with oil yet. So I think, we should keep pumping oil until we find that energy resource, which I did have something, but I forgot to add it to my thing. It's basically, or did we already talk about that? Did we talk about the crystal that they put radioactive?
The using diamonds. and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah. All right.
We talked about that.
Yeah, all right. So we did talk about that. I can't remember what episode that was on, but hopefully, we keep working towards that stuff. That will eventually replace our reliance on oil. But until then, we might as well just keep pumping for it. Until we find something to change it up with. What did you hear? What Trump wants to do?
What does Trump want to do?
So to get around the whole thing, he wants to change the Gulf of Mexico into the Gulf of America because he put a ban on the Gulf of Mexico. Well, we can drill oil in the Gulf of America. So that's how he's going to get around it.
With wordplay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And did you hear about the whole Greenland thing right now?
No.
So Trump wants to buy Greenland.
Okay.
And basically, Greenland is overloaded with minerals and like lithium and cobalt and all this other stuff that we need for electronics.
Okay. I didn't know that.
And Greenland is a independence state from. God, I should have looked this up first. I forget what country. It's a small little country that owns it, and basically, what he wants to do is he wants to buy Greenland and then, just mine all the minerals and stuff out of Greenland and make Greenland like an independent state of America. And then he wants to let Canada join the United States and become the 51st state. What do you think about that?
I don't think that's going to happen.
Why not?
I just don't. And man.
Oh, Denmark. Thank you. So Denmark is the one that owns Greenland.
Mm. And plus, I don't think it'd be the entirety of Canada. They're, because Canada's broken up into different sections too. I forget what they're called.
We should definitely look this up.
Yeah. Any other day I would have had it, but they got the Yukon, British Columbia, different ones like that.
Yeah.
Like territories or whatever. And so it probably, I think there's you know what? Let me just pull up Google Maps.
All right, go ahead. And by the way, the guy who was what is it? Do they have a president? Let me Google this. Whoever Justin Trudeau or whatever his name is, he stepped down because he was basically getting so much backlash over all the, I guess, liberal policies he was having. And he was making, the cost of living skyrocket in Canada, and nobody could afford to live there.
Yeah, they're different territories. So you got Ontario, Quebec, I can't pronounce that one. Alberta, British Columbia, like I said, Yukon, the Northwest Territories, which I can see why Trump would want Greenland because it's pretty.
Yeah, it's right there,
relatively close to us. But do you know the difference between Greenland and Iceland?
I do not.
So they're named like switch.
Okay.
So Iceland was named Iceland to trick people into thinking that it was an icy tundra, and they named Greenland, even though it is an icy tundra.
All right.
Yeah. Well, you can see it.
But also the main reason Trump wants to acquire Greenland is because we can put like missile sensors and stuff on Greenland.
Yeah.
And we'll be able to know if any missiles or anything are headed to America. But I'm all for letting Canada join us.
What about Mexico?
Mexico's a bit iffy because of all the cartel. Like the cartel straight up owns Mexico.
Yeah, but Canada's got some freaky laws.
Yeah, but once they get integrated into America, we can kick all those, crappy laws and stuff out.
And they're French.
Oh, that's fine. America's basically what is that?
The melting pot.
The melting pot.
Oh my God.
There's so many different people in America. It doesn't matter if we had a couple French people.
Well, then, okay.
All right, there's one more thing I wanted to show you.
All right, show me.
Let's see. Oh, here's the Trump video. This is the one I forgot. Oh, wait a minute. I didn't even. Time out. I got to share it so people can see it. My bad, guys. I've been working all week, so I'm extremely tired. I've been taking Neurogum to stay alert. It works. I wouldn't say it's a replacement for energy drink.
President Biden's actions yesterday
All right, let me see. There we go. All right, I'll play it.
on offshore drilling, banning offshore drilling, will not stand. I will reverse it immediately. It'll be done immediately. And we will drill, baby, drill. And we're going to be drilling in a lot of other locations. And the energy costs are going to come way down. They'll be brought down to a very low level. President Biden.
All right. Well,
I'm all for that.
okay. While we're talking about this, how do you feel about the pipeline?
I think we should have the pipeline. So, have you looked up, the accidents of the pipeline or whatever? There's only been a couple, and the cons and the pros of having the pipeline, the pros are way better. Like, we might have a couple leaks here and there with the pipeline, but we have the technology and whatnot to fix it, and then to clean up that mess. So, I'm all for the pipeline. The thing is in order for us to become a higher society and to be able to, eventually go into space and, do the whole space frontier, because that's the thing that I'm most excited about. I can't wait till we start.
You think we'll see it in our lifetime?
I think at the end of our lifetime we will. It's going to take some time. Like I said, we need to ramp up our energy. Because if we have more energy, then we're going to be doing way more. We'll be inventing more stuff, I think. Because if energy is so cheap to where we ain't got to worry about the cost, then who cares? We'll just do this, see what happens. We'll do that, see what happens.
I don't know if we'll reach it in our lifetime.
You don't think so?
I mean, I forget which one it is, but like nuclear, I think it's nuclear fission. One or the other. I think fusion is the one that we currently do. Fission is the one that we're
fission
trying
is the
to
sun.
do.
So fission is basically the clash of atoms like the sun does.
Yeah.
So the only country that I know of that has, or that's trying to do the capabilities of that is China. And what they did, from what I read, it was like a couple months ago, they basically got more energy out of an atom than what they had to use to smash it.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's a good thing. That's the first time they've been able to do that. Now the thing is to try to harness that energy. So that's the hardest part. So, we can smash atoms all day. Thing is to try to keep that energy around. Were you Googling it?
I am.
Okay. What up, Lou? Let me take a drink. Was I correct?
Well, you said that the only country working on it is China, and
That's the only one I think that's had any breakthroughs in the last.
that's not the one that I know
years.
of. I thought it was like Norway or something.
What does it say?
I can't find anything. I'd have to
Oh,
look
that's
more
all right.
into it.
We'll research it later, guys.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
I had something and I lost it. Man, this is the lost it episode. How would you feel if you found out that your partner filmed you having sex?
Okay, where did this come from?
Reddit.
All right. All right, so this is a Reddit post. How would I feel if my partner filmed me having sex? Was this like a secret camera
Yep.
type deal?
Yep.
I don't think I'd care. I mean, as long as like she's not sharing it around and putting it on Facebook and shit,
I'd be more like
I don't think I'd care.
I'd be more like, why did you hide this from me? Like, why didn't you tell me? Like, man, we could have been like on OnlyFans or something by now.
I don't know about that. I wouldn't want to do OnlyFans.
It's called a joke.
But yeah, I wouldn't care as long as it's not getting showed around and whatnot. But yeah, that's basically it. I think it would be weird. I'd be like, why couldn't you tell me and everything? But I don't think I'd have that much of a problem with it.
Do you talk to anyone about your sex life? Or is it like solely private between you and your spouse? Because for me, I won't talk to anybody about it.
I mean, like, what do you mean, like in depth talk about my sex life, or?
Oh, I mean, like I won't. It's not that I'm like.
You think it's sacred?
I just don't want to be putting images of me and my spouse together in someone else's head.
Okay.
That's like what I'm trying to avoid. So, I mean, I'm not like shy about it. Like, I wouldn't say I'm really shy about anything. Like, if somebody wants to talk about something, we can talk about it. But I'm not going to go out of my way to talk about it.
Yeah. I don't really talk about my sex life, but I mean, there's a few times where a buddy's brought up stuff, and like I put in a couple details, but it wasn't like in depth. Other than that, that's about it. This freaking mic. Give me 1 second. All right, I fixed it. Mike was making a humming noise.
How do you feel about dating apps?
I don't think people should use them because it gives a false sense of the person that you're trying to date or whatever. I think if you're trying to date somebody, just go out and meet people. That way you don't see this profile picture that this person might have a filter on, or that's going up this way that you can't really see, or there's tons of different things. I mean, now we got AI, so basically, if a girl wants to make her tits bigger, or she can. So
you're untrustworthy.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I mean, I would just do it the old way. Just just go out and try to meet them. How do you feel about it?
I mean, I've used them.
Okay.
Have you ever used them?
No.
No, I have.
Well, actually, I take that back. I was on Tinder for 2 months, and it was a horrible experience. Basically, after you're sitting there talking to a girl or whatever, there's the whole thing with like, oh, can I borrow like $20? It was like that for like almost like everyone. Like they just wanted money. And I was just like, I'm not going to do this. So I just deleted it. And yeah, I just went the old reliable route of just going out and about. And
I think I'm not against dating apps. I'm not necessarily for them, but I respect what they are and what they can provide for people. I never had any luck with them. Every date that I went on was a bust. Got stood up once.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll tell you something.
Okay,
I can't mention the person's name. So this is actually kind of funny. I was talking to this girl, and we planned on going to a date, and it was at steakhouse, Texas Steakhouse or whatever.
Okay.
And so I went there. She didn't show up. And I was like, what the fuck? So I text her, and she's like, oh, I'm running late, blah, 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 blah. Waited 2 hours. Never showed up. I was like, what the, And so I went home. Didn't message the girl for like 4 or 5 days. She messaged me. She's like, oh, hey, would you like to, just after 5 days of not talking, would you like to try to go on a date? Yeah, sure. Why not? So we planned on Charlie's.
Okay.
Yeah. And I was like, you know what? I'm not going. So I was like, oh, yeah, I'm getting ready. Da, 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 da. And I was like, are you getting ready? And she sent me a picture of her in this outfit or whatever. And she was like, I'll be there in like 5 minutes. I'm like, all right, I'm on my way. And I was just sitting at home. And so she messaged and she was like, where are you at? I'm sitting, waiting at the waiting line or whatever. I'm almost there. Just waited. I think I was watching some TV show. And she kept messaging. I didn't even click on it. Didn't even reply back. I was just like, you know what? I'm going to wait about an hour. And then after an hour, I looked at it. She, well, where are you at? Did something happen? Nothing. I didn't reply back. And then I waited like 2-3 hours after that. She messaged me again. She's like, I can't believe you did this. And then I messaged her and I was like, oh, I'm sorry. And I just never messaged back. So that was like a revenge thing for me. I'm not regretful that I did it. I don't know if that, factors into what type of person I am, but I got a good laugh out of it. So there's that. All right. Damn it. I got to go here real quick. All right. Did you see the post I sent you?
I have not read them, but I've read the titles.
I can't remember what I sent you. So I'm gonna click on this one. Do you got any more?
I had something. Hang on.
I'll click on this one. Shout out to my boy Lou.
Lou.
All right. All right. So, what?
I have it. As soon as you went to speak, I have it.
Okay. Well, go ahead.
All right. What is so? I asked my wife the other day. I was like, name my biggest pet peeve, and because we quiz each other like that,
Yeah.
to see if we know each other.
Yeah.
And going on 8 years, shout out. And she was like, when people are unreliable, and I was like, man, that is actually that is probably my biggest pet peeve, and because that encompasses like when people are late, or anything like that.
Okay.
That just, oh man, that stuff gets under my skin.
For me, it all depends on like if I know like if the person's actually late or if like because like everybody's life is different. Like just because I'm not doing anything right now doesn't mean that you're not doing something. You could be watching a kid, work, whatever. So I try to take into that if, somebody's late to something or, plans get canceled. The only thing, like I said, the only thing I would do is if plans get canceled because this person says like, oh, I had to do this or do that. And then I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to ride by your house. And if I ride by their house and they're just sitting on their porch and I'm like, oh, this mother, You know.
Well, so it's also like when people don't like keep their word, don't hold up to what they say
Yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, oh my, that shit pisses me off.
Well, I think that's like a general thing for everybody.
But so, what would you say is like a big pet peeve of yours?
A big pet peeve for me. All right, let's see. A big pet peeve. I wish you would have told me this. I would have had time to think.
I mean, we
Put it on me on the spot.
I mean, we could skip.
No, let me think of something real quick.
Okay.
A big pet peeve. All right, we're gonna have to skip it right now because I can't think of anything.
Okay.
My mind's literally blank.
You kids don't do anything that gets under your skin.
I mean, just the kid stuff. Like, all right. This burns me up. All right.
Okay.
For some reason, this just gets to me.
Okay.
All right. So, I got an 8-year-old.
Yeah.
Okay. And I got a 2-year-old.
Yeah.
Well, the 8-year-old, we've already went through the whole thing with her, getting toys, this and that. So with the 2-year-old, we're just redoing the same thing we do with the 8-year-old. It's just, a different time frame. So we'll get like the 2-year-old something. And then the 8-year-old's like, oh, that's not fair. Why does she get this? Or why does that right there, for some reason, just burns right through me. And then I got to be like, you got the same thing. You got more. Yours cost it more, this or that, And then I do like the whole, like, life ain't fair, get over it type thing. So, yeah, I guess that's a pet peeve of mine. Let's see. Can't really think of anything else right now, but I'll let you know if something pops up.
All right.
All right, let me all right, so this one might get a little personal. You ready? I'm gonna hit you with some personal stuff.
Oh boy.
All right, so this one is, I read this one earlier. This one is basically, so this woman thinks her boyfriend needs therapy. Basically, he's addicted to porn. Okay. I stopped watching porn 4 or 5 years ago. I went down through this like rabbit hole of like, you're using like this or that as like a crutch or whatever. So then I just, I was like, you know what? I don't need that. So I stopped watching porn, like I said, about 4.5, somewhere in there. I don't exactly remember the exact date. I didn't write it down or whatever. But yeah, so this girl basically thinks her boyfriend needs therapy because she walked in on him, watching the corn. And I don't know, what do you think about that? So I mean,
the fact that you said this is going to hit home for me.
Well, I'm
I don't know what you mean by that. I don't know what you're trying to imply here, man.
There's a question into it later.
Okay.
All right, but so I forgot where I was going with this. Yeah, basically this girl thinks that her boyfriend needs therapy because he's just all the time just watching it.
Okay.
And even when she's home, he's watching it.
Okay.
So
that sounds like addiction.
Yeah, I mean he's using it for something. I mean, I couldn't see myself doing that though. Even like if all my family's home and I'm in the bathroom just watching it, like,
yeah, but like, why do people smoke cigarettes? Why do people drink?
Well, cigarettes are addictive. That's the thing.
Right. Corn is addictive too. it tickles that funny part of your brain that releases the
The
dopamine and whatnot. Yeah.
serotonin and all that. Yeah.
Isn't there's like a whole study behind like it corn is a reason why like a lot of young men are so numb and whatnot is because they have that so readily available to them. It's like they don't really need women anymore.
Well, I mean, I read a study that, I mean, basically men are just staying single longer and, not getting into relationships and whatnot because, the availability of corn. So, my thing is I think if you're watching corn all the time, it takes away the empathy and that bond of your wife, girlfriend, whatever.
Okay, so I have a different
all right,
opinion than you.
all right.
I think it's something that you can enjoy together.
Okay. But are you well, the thing is, are you doing it like even when she's not there?
I mean, usually if I'm going to do it, that's when I do it, is when she's not there.
Okay. So you do it all the time.
Not all the time, no. No, I very, very rarely, for one, watch corn, or two,
Take action in the.
yeah. And I mean, I feel like I just don't need to. But back when I was single, yes, I used to do it like religiously.
Now I will say, if you are single, I would much rather somebody be watching corn than go out there and sexually assault somebody or whatever. But if you have a girlfriend or a wife, I think it kind of doles out the relationship faster, and then that's how relationships burn out.
I think you can learn stuff from it. And then you can.
I don't know. There's some videos that I just can't do. All right.
I mean, yeah.
I don't have the tools. I don't have the tools for some of that.
There's a perverse dark side to pretty much everything, man.
Yeah.
But something such as corn, yeah, there's going to be a lot of dark and perverse stuff there. And there's a lot of like niche and stuff. Like, come on, you got furry stuff and
Yeah, all that stuff's so weird though.
Well, I mean, but that's what happened to having an open mind.
I mean, I guess you're right there. I don't know. I couldn't see myself getting excited about some person in a costume. Because I mean, that's basically what a furry is.
Oh,
right?
I don't want to talk about this.
Okay. All right.
But I think that it's just entertainment at the end of the day. And because, I mean, Marvel movies, it's weird comparing Marvel movies to like corn, but, they release, dopamine in people's heads and people are addicted to them.
Okay. All
It's
right.
just entertainment at the end of the day, to me, anyways.
Yeah,
And I think that it is something that you can enjoy with your partner.
Man, I guess. I don't know. I couldn't see myself doing it.
That's okay. We ain't all gotta be alike.
All right. So, what is your advice for this lady here who thinks her boyfriend needs therapy because he's just all the time watching corn? And
It sounds like he needs to go to AA. He's got an addiction.
I would just, turn his cell phone off. Don't pay the Wi-Fi bill. Like,
I'd be like, am I not good enough?
I mean, that's probably how she feels.
Yeah.
Because, like, if he's just constantly in the bathroom watching corn videos.
No, I mean, I don't believe in letting anything jeopardize your relationship.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I would say, like, I'm on her side here. dude needs to take a chill pill. But so, where's the? What, you gonna hit me with a question at some point, or?
Well, I was just gonna ask, which. Oh, wait a minute! I got to do this freaking TikTok thing. All right, I saved it. I was just gonna ask, like a personal question, like what's your relationship with corn and whatnot? Because I don't do it. I stopped it, like I said, like 4.5, 5 years ago, because I just felt like, you know, it's a crutch for something, and it will just burn out a relationship faster. And then, you know, depending on whatever you watch, a lot of it's unrealistic. I don't know about you, but I don't have a.
That just tells me that you're small in the pants.
Well, I don't have a you know, a 12-inch hammer. All right,
Join the club, man.
but yeah. So yeah, basically, our advice to this girl is, yeah, maybe see if your boyfriend will go to therapy. If he's not willing to take your feelings into consideration about his corn addiction, obviously, I don't think he's the one if he's going to choose corn over you. I mean, that's just my opinion. But yeah, there you go. There's your poor therapy there. All right. Let me see. All right. So this one I read, and it kind of, I can relate to it because, all right, here we go.
Read the title of it.
All right. So this one is a confession, and it's a Reddit post, and it says, I don't have any positive emotions towards my child. And just to sum it up, this guy became a new dad. The kid's a couple months old, and he just hates changing diapers. He hates the crying. He's just annoyed by it all. And, you know, I'll be honest. When I first had my oldest, I was a shit dad. For a good 8 months to a year, I was constantly working. I literally worked all the time, 7 days a week, just because I didn't want to be home. And some of it might have had to do with toxic relationship problems. And then the others was just like, I just felt so overwhelmed, just like, you know, becoming a dad, because that wasn't really in the cards that I was going for. It just kind of happened. And at the time, I didn't really know how to process it. Had no idea what I was doing. I mean, basically, you know, I had a couple father figures in my life. None that were really, really, you know, there every single day and whatnot. So yeah, I was a new dad. Had no idea what I was doing. The only thing that, you know, I felt that I could do was just work and make money. And I just went ham, and I worked 7 days a week. Like I said, I literally worked all the time, and I interacted very little for the first 8 months to a year, like I said. And then after that, I began to appreciate things more. And, you know, you really begin to value your kids and whatnot as time goes on. And I think at the beginning, you know, depending on what understanding and, you know, the process of becoming a dad. Cause like I didn't have any process. I was just working, found out she was pregnant, just continued to work. Didn't do any research, didn't like, you know, the whole baby book stuff, didn't do any of that, didn't do any classes, nothing like that. So I was just like, you know, kind of going into it blind. And yeah, I think a lot of first time dads run into this problem. And then, like I said, over time, the time that I really started to value is when I started to see her personality start to show and this and that. And then I was like, oh, like, you know, this is like a human being, and, you know, it's going to grow up and whatnot. And, you know, I can, you know, raise it and whatnot. And I don't really know where I'm going with that, but like, yeah, it's first time dads are, unless like you have somebody that's, you know, holding your hand the step of the way and everything, and, you know, comforting you and whatnot and showing you the way, it's pretty tough. So
I wouldn't necessarily say first time dads. I would say unexpected fathers.
yeah, but I'm sure there's a lot of first time dads out there that have went through the same thing, because I can't be the only one. And obviously this guy, you know, I didn't hate my kid, but I was annoyed, and my way to get out of it was just to work all the time.
So did you see your kid as a burden?
You know, honestly, at the very beginning, yeah, probably.
You regret it?
Yeah, I wish I would have took a different step to it. I wish because, you know, I didn't, for my first one, I didn't get to see her walk. Didn't really, like, you know, teach her the dada, mama, like, you know, the speech thing. You know, because I was at work. I was just like, you know, I'm just going to work. You know, you do that, I'll just work. And with my second one, I value it way more. And I'm, you know, 100% in the process of raising it and everything. So I get to look back and see what I didn't do with the first one and try to correct it and make sure I don't do it with the second. So
You think that makes your first one jealous?
No, because like I said, after the year and she started to show personality or whatever, then, you know, I can actually say, like, I started to become a dad and, you know, spent time, you know, learn stuff like that. I don't think the first one could remember when she was one. Like I said, but yeah, I mean, that's basically that. Yeah, that was pretty hard there. But for this guy, you know, it might be hard at the very beginning, especially depending on your kid, because my first kid and my second kid were totally different. My first kid had colic and basically cried 24/7. The only way she went to sleep was in the car. So when I got off work, I just drove around for 5 hours. And she slept while I was driving. And then we'd go home, put her in the crib. She'd sleep for like 2 hours max, and then cry the rest of the time. My second kid literally didn't cry at all, slept all the time. I mean, totally different. So, like I said, depending on how your kid is or whatever, you know, I would say all of them are pretty much different, but it gets easier, especially when they start to show their personality and everything. And then hopefully you'll begin to value and love and, become a dad, I guess. So, yeah.
How long we been going now?
Give me a second.
Should be about an hour and 7 minutes.
We've been going for an hour, 5 minutes. I got one more.
Okay.
Oh, wait a minute. Let me stop the screen thing. I forgot about that. Where's that? All right. So this post is about this girl thinks her parents ruined her marriage. And basically, this woman's parents are, they're the toxic. They're the toxic fighting parents. The father drinks. The mother calls the cops, and this happens at least once a month, type thing. I think, maybe somebody has this in their family or knows of people that has this in their family. If you do have this in your family or know of somebody that does or whatever, do not step into that. That is their toxic relationship. You don't want anything like that to splash onto your marriage and to corrupt your relationship with your partner, because slowly over time it will. And by what I mean is, I'll take an example out of the post. So basically, her father's a drunk. Her mother, fights with the father all the time. The father goes to jail, this and that. And this happens just over and over and over years and whatnot. And the husband is, kind of tired of it. And he's starting to resent the parents or, the mother and father-in-law, and, doesn't want anything to do with them. And obviously this creates a bridge or resentment with, the wife or the husband, whatever. And, problems start to form. So, like I said, I don't really have any of this in my life. My mom and dad, broke up when I was pretty early, pretty young. So didn't really have that problem.
I think you got to have priorities.
Yeah.
And boundaries. And, you got to figure out what's more important to you, your husband or your, family. And then you got to set boundaries one way or the other.
Yeah. But, yeah, if your family is toxic or whatever, and they just, they just can't get out of it, and it's starting to affect your marriage. And if you value your marriage or your relationship, you'll take the steps to save it. So if you got to distance yourself from, mother, father, sister, brother, cousin, whatever, I would advise do it, because those individuals or family members, don't have to deal with the problems that, are popping up in your marriage or relationship. You do. So if you value your relationship, I would, take the steps and making sure that your family members' problems don't interlude into yours and start to become yours. So, you got anything else?
No, man.
All right, give me 1 second. But yeah, there's that girl's support therapy. basically, you know, I know it's your mom and dad and everything, but eventually people have to learn, and sometimes, you know, people have to learn the hard way, and there's different routes of going the hard way, and, you know, put some space between them. If they, you know, wonder why you're distancing yourself, tell them. Maybe that might fix it. And, you know, maybe not. But make sure you take your relationship and make sure it's, you know, your priority. But yeah, there's your poor therapy. Let me go back to this. All right. But yeah, so that's our podcast episode for tonight. I hope everybody's having a good night and, you know, having a good weekend and whatnot. If you want to talk or, you know, confess, or, you know, you need poor therapy or want our opinion about something, all you have to do is contact us through one of our many social medias. But yeah, just hope everybody has a good night. And you have anything you want to say?
Have a good night, everybody. Peace.
Later, guys. Bye-bye.